morning. It's going to be a nice day. We'll call the meeting to order. Again, we only have 2 items on the agenda, so we can't change that. It's a special school board meeting, so we'll call it to order, and we will start with subject number 2. Who's going to go first here? Is he going to talk about it, or are you going to talk about it, or?
We have 2 applicants for the principal position that we listed. So, just want you to be aware we already have applicants. I have here the hiring process, interview team put together, just to be transparent in how you go forward with this. If I can pass it out, I can.
Yeah, let's pass it out. And we can change it if we want to. We can talk about it.
I think the other thing that I was going to ask you from Mr. Gold asked us to ask is that for the advertising, we should set a salary range today, because one site or the other actually posted it without. So she just asked if we could do that because she only did it on one site, the other one won't allow her to ask about that.
So are we talking about a temporary principal, the interim position, or
I believe
the?
they're looking to start as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It would have to be pending everyone's approval.
But just for the rest of the year, or for?
I believe they want to be our principal.
These are out of town people. They're from out of town. So,
How long is the window open again? How long?
We didn't set it.
we should be able to start the process. It doesn't mean we don't.
You don't have to offer, I mean, you,
No.
obviously based on the hiring committee's recommendation, you have. Sure.
You
have- anyways,
Someone
you-
that would want to start.
So you have obviously it's interview process, you create a team. Here's the team, how I would create the team. Obviously you want to have the Fair Labor Standards Act in mind as you do screening and compliance. Per policy. Initial screening, we want to make sure we follow the qualifications we put into the job description. Structured interview is phase 2. Post-interview evaluation, which would obviously involve references. Obviously, the committee members get to score each candidate, which you'll see in the scoring process later on. Final approval of the selected candidate will come to the hiring committee, then I will bring, per policy, I'll bring the recommendation of that committee to you. You will be able to vote on the recommendation from the committee. I put the questions in here, so you can see the questions that we would answer. I also put the scoring criteria. I did not put the rubric in, but so obviously this is a process we've gone through before, but I thought it'd be good to have transparency because we've done this process before. So,
Okay, are there any questions from the board? On the interview process, on your team, well, I think Kelly has to be a good addition.
he's in the district administration.
Did I see that?
District administration.
Where's that? Oh, okay, so you're including him on that. Okay. Yeah. And
Just
just,
thinking we're supposed to kind of.
well, yeah, I can understand what, because that's, I work closer with him than you would with anybody else, so. Okay, so any questions on that? Any questions on that? I'm gonna give Vanessa a chance to come up, because I know she's mulling over something.
I am.
So that's why I'm gonna give you the time to think about what you wanna ask. There's no hurry here. We still should be able to be out of here fairly decent today.
So are we limiting this to one board member per this?
There's a reason for that, and you wanted to explain why we don't put you on there?
Yeah, because then it's public meeting. And we would have to, I mean, we one finance committee member, because they're gonna have, if the candidate is selected, then you're going to have to put them into, you're gonna have to potentially put them into a negotiations process with the finance committee anyway, so the finance committee should have the background of the candidate.
That could change, but that's,
Because per policy CBAA, hiring is voted on by the board, and also per practice, the contract is negotiated by the finance committee. I mean, that's just the way we've done it. So if the finance committee, I mean, you may as well have a member of the finance committee on the interview team from the board, because they're gonna have to negotiate with them, if selected by the committee.
okay, again, any more questions or, anything you'd like to see changed or?
What was our committee before? I quite certainly had 2 board members.
Was the finance committee. I mean,
No.
the finance committee member, it was me,
When you hired Kelly, who was on the,
dean of students, it was,
Oh, okay. Kelly's was different, but.
Kelly's is different?
well, no, Kelly was internal, but when he was hired as dean of students, we had a full committee, and there was, the business manager was on there to take minutes, the whole 9 yards. And so there was documentation, there was interview questions as I'm bringing forward. Everybody had a whole process. Everybody filled out it and put their name on it. And we had that file, we just brought the file forward. So it's the exact same thing that you did when you hired the students.
Okay, any other discussion?
What salary range you think?
Yeah, let's make sure everybody's good with this first.
I don't know that I'm good with this, but I'm not prepared to say anything else, so.
So what's the problem area?
I'm not sure about one board member. This is a principal, not a dean of students. This is a,
For policy CBAA, the superintendent is supposed to investigate qualifications and bring a recommendation of the board to protect the board. So that's why I'm trying to keep it in that way, so that you guys we have this multiple step process to protect against the board.
that doesn't protect the board.
It's just for our own policy.
If we had 2 board members, then we'd have to have a public meeting and you'd have to be here. Is that what you're saying?
So what's weird about that?
Yeah,
It's
I know.
like, to constitute a quorum, you have to have a majority of the
Right.
board, unless it's an actual standing committee, because we meet as a building committee. James and I aren't a quorum to conduct business, but we're an official standing committee, so it's also a public meeting. But like, I don't serve on a committee with Colette, so if I were to bump into Colette on the sidewalk at the coffee shop, like we're not like, we don't have to have that be a public meeting, because we're not a quorum that constitutes business, and we're not a formal committee of the Board of Education either. So yeah, it's a weird thing, because our board is only 5 people, so our committees are only 2 people.
Yeah.
So but if you have 3 or more and you for some reason start talking about school business, then you are a quorum, and it is a public meeting, you minute everything right there then.
I specifically asked about this yesterday, because I knew that the string of meetings law would apply potentially in this case.
I wouldn't recommend it, because I think even say if it was something like if, again, this idea of like Colette and I, like just if you're in an interview process, it looks formal, and to me, I think that wouldn't look well. If you were trying to, I just still think that wouldn't look well, even if it wasn't like a formal standing committee of the board, like in a formal interview process like that, having 2 board members it kind of seems like, it seems like a committee, it seems like an interview committee. so it seems like it should be public at that point, to me.
So what are you saying? What are you?
If you had two board people there, I would make it a formal interview committee, and I'd have minutes and everything, and invite the public there.
And there will be, obviously, every person's gonna have documented questions, this is why I provide the questions, so there's gonna be that whole process here for, but applicants are by law to be private until the interview process, and then they would be public. So all of that documentation is going to be public. I did ask about the string of meetings rule in this case, and if you're discussing school business and you've got two members there and that does constitute a committee, that is, I mean, you have to have, that's a public meeting. If you meet on the street and you're talking about, I don't know, the weather, the wind, that's not a public meeting. So if you, so that's what I'm trying to say is, it is a public meeting. You're gonna fall under that string of meetings law. I don't think there's any way around it there. I do think it's best to have a finance committee member on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is best to have a finance committee member on there, because they will have to negotiate, and you're gonna have to go back through that whole process again of re-educating the board, for the negotiations. So, yeah.
Right, yeah, that takes out.
And to me, the people that are the most important here are the teachers, and if teachers don't think this is gonna be the fit for them, then what difference does it make what a board member thinks? I think that's, I mean, I know what you're saying, but I still think it needs to be I think they need to feel that it's a fit for them, so.
Yeah, 'cause
We have 3 teachers, we have 2 administrators, so,
So if you got two there, you gotta have notice, you gotta have.
so what, okay, so are we all good, or do we wanna make a motion to change this, or we're gonna leave this as is,
I'm
or?
personally fine with just the one board member. I don't care who it is, but, cause yeah, if you have two, you gotta notice it, you know, have people in the public come.
Okay, all right. Any more discussion? Any more discussion? Any more discussion? I don't know if we need a motion on this, do we?
We don't have a motion.
You're just following your own policy.
All right, so we're gonna follow this policy, okay? All right, now, let's talk about salary.
You're 65 to 80.
Okay? We gonna put that in form of motion, please? Then we'll talk about it.
I would move that we have the salary range for the elementary school principal to start at the 65 to 80,000
Is there a second to that?
annually.
Okay, probably moving second, then we set the range of $65,000 to $80,000 for a year, and then, discussion.
And then she also in there, she'll put in that. They get both sides of TFFR, which is in policy, but I mean, just to make sure that everybody knows that or whatever, and
Yeah.
also
Full family
full
health.
family.
Do we need that in part of the motion? Is that
It's
understood?
policy, I just wanted to.
Okay, both family and, okay,
You would just, again, you're just following your policy.
any more discussion? Any more discussion? You all in favor then of setting the price range of $65,000 to $80,000? Please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, so, let's begin this ASAP. And then, if they are able to start, then we're good. If not, we're gonna have to come up with a way to, a temporary, we know we talked about some things, we don't wanna throw out names right now, but we have some ideas maybe that we can, do going forward. But let's start with this, and, do that. Anybody else have anything else they wanna talk about this before I move on to the next one?
Was the, principal job description used in the, advertisement? I mean, the one that we had from before?
I don't know.
We didn't have one, that
I
was the
haven't
thing.
looked at it, I know.
I was told over and over there were none. We did not have job descriptions for principals, so by,
Maybe we never approved it.
so,
I don't think so.
the policy we have says the superintendent forms job descriptions. I didn't wanna go target and make a job description after the fact. I went through that whole booklet, there are no principal job descriptions, the whole booklet that I was provided. So I made based on that policy that we have. If you find if you have a job description on record, as the previous business manager mentioned to me that we didn't have a job description for principals.
That's something we need.
Well, the superintendent is supposed to create job descriptions for every single position, and that one did not have that. So coming in and then creating a job description and putting it over top when they were hired without one, I didn't think would be fair. But now that we're hiring them, we have job descriptions on file, because that's part of what it's supposed to do.
That's pretty good for,
The job descriptions are supposed to be kept by the superintendent if you want to approve them. You can bring them forward, I guess. The hourly staff, and the pair staff, and all the
could make
different
a formal one, you know.
Okay.
We don't have time, no.
No,
We
no,
should.
put it on our
It's
agenda.
something I know we have talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on the principal before I move on to number 3? Very good. Okay, all right. So let's begin that ASAP. Let's see what happens with that. And then we will go forward and do the best we can. Okay? All right, number 3. So read the survey questions. And you all had a chance to review them. You all had a chance to talk about this. And so I don't know exactly what you want to do for, how you want to proceed with this, or anybody have an idea what we should do?
My thought was just that there's some of them that I think absolutely need to be, that I don't, to be stricken that I don't want to use. You know,
Oh, and I agree with that. However, the ones that I think that aren't, I mean, they're not necessarily appropriate for this. I don't think they were meant for
Right.
this. I think there was some misunderstanding. That being said, the ones, as you know, that last section, none of that has anything to do with this. But I think everything on here is worth, I'm not saying now today,
I
but
agree,
it's
I
all
agree.
worth being addressed by the board.
I had some that I thought could be some other time, you know, but there is some, like, I guess I'll start with the first one. I had number 22 would definitely, the very last one would be stricken.
Right.
I mean, it has nothing to do with what we're trying to.
Okay, so, again, I'm looking for, I mean, do we,
There's some other ones like, okay, number 15, that isn't really something that we're, I guess, talking about now. I don't know what you guys.
I put on mine, I said not yet, that's maybe something down the road.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
think that's an interesting question, but it
Yeah.
ends up being,
Yeah.
as much as one might not think, that gets people tense.
Mhm.
Okay,
This is internal, right?
This is
Yeah.
internal,
Yes.
yeah.
yes.
So I mean, I don't know that it's
Yeah,
a bad question, but yeah.
No, it's actually a good question.
It's
It's
a very
just,
good question, but I don't know.
that would be something that, first of all, before we even ask the public, would have to be asked of the other district.
Yeah.
So we don't want to start that now.
Okay,
I don't like when there's names in them.
I think question 5 is one that the board should talk about, but I
Yes.
agree, it should not be.
Right, it shouldn't be on here, but yes, I'm not saying that it isn't something, but yeah, I feel like that one.
well, and I feel like for number 5, there's already kind of an outcome that's coming out of that.
Right. And then I had a number of them, I felt like were almost kind of the same. I mean, that, you know, kind of helps because it reduces the number of them, you know. Yes, I had them too, but those were, somehow that could be just one question. And let's see here, I felt almost like 2 and 3 were kind of the same.
So I like 1, 2, 3, for sure.
I just felt like if we're trying to get the number down a little bit, I felt like 2 and 3 were kind of the same, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I do agree with 6 and 8.
Right.
Yeah, 6 and 8, I have yes.
6 and 8, you have yes for both?
Oh, I agree that they're kind of the same.
Oh, 6 and 8 are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I,
Yeah, and they're very similar, but
I actually felt like 13 was also. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
you could-
Yeah, 6, 8, and 13, I thought we could make it as to one question. That was just something, because it kind of relates to the same thing.
Also 9 and 16.
Yes, I actually had 9, 11, and 16.
Yeah.
And what you guys thought about 17, that was also another one that I thought that's something that we should talk about, but not, it really isn't probably a survey question. I don't know what you guys think about that one.
I had a question by it, so, yeah.
Right, I
I
mean,
can-
it's,
I
like I
can-
said, it's not something that we should totally forget, but I just thought it wasn't something that we were thinking for here, so.
So how about we do this? Let's start from the beginning. So I'm hearing, keeping 1, 2, and 3. Is that what
Yes.
I'm hearing? I'm usually keeping 1, 2, and 3. 4,
How about, okay, so to me, 1 and 19 are pretty much the same. The other thing. What do you guys think? I mean, so we can pass off another one. I felt like resources, needs, ideas, or am I wrong? I mean, I don't
or
care.
you could merge the two, I mean, because 19 is open-ended, where 1 is kind of a little bit more closed-ended, it's like a,
True, yeah, and if you want them separate, that's okay too. I'm just
Okay.
throwing out
okay.
ideas.
I'm gonna do 1 and keep 19.
You wanna keep it separate? I mean, I don't care. I guess I'm just.
I don't mind merging them, but, you
I
know,
would say keep them separate, but.
Keep them separate? Okay, let's keep them separate for now. 1, 2, and 3 we're gonna keep,
Okay.
for now, okay? 4,
Yeah.
well, I mean, that's kind of like a rhetorical, it's kind of a question for us, not the staff.
This would go out to the community too, or you're planning to send this out to the community.
no, this
Nope.
is
This is an
internal,
internal survey.
internal.
So that's kind of where I get, it's like,
Right.
James, what do
I
you think
don't
about
care
4?
for
What do you think about 4,
it
James?
doesn't, that applies to us, it doesn't apply to anybody else, so.
not constructive.
So you guys are saying no?
I said no.
Okay, all right, so no to 4 and 5. Okay, so, I'm hearing 6 and 8 are the like.
Yes.
Which one,
I would use 8 and then add
Yeah, I agree.
retention and support of the
I
staff.
have 4 stars by number 8, so. So
Retention
let's eliminate 6 and,
retention is in here, so.
Right, so number 8, if you have retention and support, then that puts everything from 6 and number 8 as well.
so we're gonna keep 8 and eliminate 6, is that what we're saying?
Yep.
Okay. All right, 7. I don't think that's a valid one myself. Anybody on 7?
I think that's a fine question.
Everybody okay with 7? Okay. All right, and then we go to 9,
Yeah,
that's a good question. Everybody agree?
That's where we had 9 and,
Where is the biggest area of improvement you see that's needed within the school district? That's a
you
good
had
question.
16 and 9 were supposed to be similar, you guys?
yeah. Yeah, and 11 was kind of true. I mean, I felt like, whether you say biggest area of need
Okay, so
improvement or
which-
biggest obstacle, I guess I don't know, I just felt like, I'd
So
like,
16 is what areas of improvement would you like to see within our school district? And 9 is where's the biggest area of improvement? So 16 is more open-ended as well as more discussion. So let's,
okay.
are we okay with 16 then?
I'm okay with
And
that.
then eliminating 9? I think they're asking, I don't think, if you really have something to say on that topic, you're gonna need to say it.
Right.
Okay, is everybody okay with that?
I'm
Vanessa,
fine.
okay? Okay, so 9 is out, 16 is in. Okay? Number 10, how well does the superintendent create an environment that supports principals, teachers, and facility staff?
Good question.
Okay, is it all good with that one? Okay. Number 11, what's the biggest obstacle facing our district?
I felt like maybe that could be covered when you say what areas of improvement would you like to see, but I don't, that you guys, you got me
It could
thinking.
be different.
True.
Could be different?
I think it's a fine question.
Okay.
Okay, I'm all right with it
I'm
too.
okay.
Everybody else all right with it? Okay, number 12. Can staff provide more input when evaluating administration, principals and superintendents?
That would be more of a board thing. Yeah, amongst yourselves, I mean, first of all, if we can.
I'm actually not sure how people would answer it. I think it's a thing for the board to address.
Okay, so you're saying,
So,
we're gonna take that one out, leave
yeah,
that as a
I felt
board
like it was
issue?
something we would, you know.
Well, and that was kind of the whole, months ago, that was kind of the goal with this whole process was to get,
Right.
you know, everybody involved in evaluating
Okay,
the leadership.
13, so we're gonna take 12 off. 13, how?
I felt like that was, that we kind of covered that under 8.
Which one? 13?
Yeah, when we talked about retention,
Okay,
Well,
or not.
Well, and then there's number 18, which is what I think is a good question. It's kind of like the primary question of what the point of this was supposed to be.
Well, and I kind of thought that almost would be like separate, wouldn't you rate and then have
okay,
questions?
so you're saying we're probably gonna get the answers to 13 someplace else? Okay, are we okay with that?
You know, 12.
No, 13.
13, no, we're keeping 12.
No, we're
No,
not.
no.
Oh, no, we're not.
11 we were, 12 we were.
You're.
Yeah, he's trying to keep up with you.
Okay, so I'm hearing that 13 could be answered other places.
It's up to what you think, I didn't know if that was kind of part of,
What's that?
13.
I didn't know if that was part of the retention.
Yeah, I thought
I don't
13
care.
was a fine question.
Which one?
13?
But we talked about that we already had it in another place here.
And we kind of do, I guess.
In number 8,
Number 8, yeah.
yeah.
Doesn't make a difference.
Working
Yeah.
still distribute your appreciation and help with retention of staff members. And so I think that if you have concern about people not staying long enough, you can address them in that area. Okay? All right. Okay, so we'll take 13 out. Okay, 14.
I say strike it.
I say it's a valid question.
James? Spencer?
I'm not a big fan of having names called out in it. I don't know if there's a whole lot of tact in that. I think that question's gonna be addressed anyways, but
Okay,
that's just me.
because there's gonna be plenty of spots to do without instead of, okay. All right, so I'm hearing we're gonna cut number 14.
It'll be
Okay.
addressed.
Okay, 15, we already decided that
Strike that one.
was strike, because we said it was the deal with combining Pheasant and Harvey Public Schools. We say it's a good idea, but maybe not something we should do in a survey yet. Okay, 16, we're keeping, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then 17, we feel that that probably is not a survey question.
Right.
Everybody agree with that? All right, okay, 18. So how would you rate your satisfaction with principal, superintendent, and school board? To me, this is the number 1 question.
I think
I've got
that,
5 stars here. To me, I would like to see,
I'd like to see them separated.
yes.
Yeah.
And then I would like to see, how do you fill out surveys? I don't answer questions, I just circle.
Yeah.
When it comes to the question, I don't,
Yeah.
so I still think it should be like an excellent, good, fair, poor.
Yeah.
And then you
have
circle
a
the one, and then you have a chance to explain why it's excellent, good, fair, poor,
Mhm.
and then put each one separate. Okay, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely.
Okay,
That's
do you
kinda
like my
right.
idea of excellent, good, fair, poor? And then explain,
Right, yeah.
yeah, kind of a grade, and,
Because that was what that was just basically what that Google survey was, but I like how there's more, but
I wanna also explain your answer too, so.
yeah, well, and then
Justify your answer. Okay, are we all good with that? That should be our baby, that should be our number 1 question.
Yep.
Yes, I got it as number 1.
I think that should be, that's how we should start it.
yeah,
Okay.
just each of them separated though.
Yeah, each of them separated.
Yeah.
So how would you rate your satisfaction with your superintendent, excellent, good, fair, poor, why, principles,
Excellent.
and do we need to break those out into two principles?
Well, I think you would answer for your applicable principle.
Yeah, because
And
otherwise
then
it's
how
really.
would you know which one is what? To me, it's like this. You put high school, put principal, elementary, and then you go NA. So I'm a high school
Okay.
person, I'm gonna go NA because I'm not gonna evaluate that elementary principal.
Yeah, I got you.
That's a suggestion.
And I assume, I mean, are we, so this is a little awkward because are we rating our last principal? Are we
Right, that's-
specifying?
That's it, it will be hard for to do.
That was an issue with the business manager
Right,
previously.
right,
Have high school principal.
right.
Right,
In this case,
yes.
when we set it out now, there really is only gonna be one to rate.
And if you wanna rate the previous principal, that's fine, I'm not
Yeah.
sure what the value is.
But do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah,
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
no, I get it, but I'm just saying, I agree with
There's two
her.
elementary teachers in the back, are you comfortable rating a high school principal? Probably not, right? No, so I think you should separate them. And then you put,
I'm fine with that, I'm not disagreeing with that.
and then
I'm
you
just
put,
saying that it doesn't
and then you
really,
put an NA, so it's like,
Yep.
this doesn't apply to me, I'm not gonna rate the high school principal, because I don't see his, I wouldn't give it a fair shot, or vice versa.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Maybe circle one. Circle one, elementary.
Well, you can do that too,
Or, you know,
you can do that too, put elementary, high school in circle one,
yeah, I kind of feel a little bit like Vanessa though, because it's like, we're gonna,
got that?
we're going to rate, one isn't going to be, like, just like our last business manager, one's not even gonna be here anymore, we don't have a new one yet, so how do you rate an elementary one?
But I guess, yeah, if you circle one and
Right,
You can justify what you
Yeah,
did, you can justify what you did by saying it's the one you had before too. Okay,
this could be a future survey too.
right.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
right,
So-
future of the work, yes.
So what I'm hearing is we're gonna circle either high school or elementary and then rate it. That's what I'm hearing.
I would recommend if you're gonna put this much work into this thing, that this be your 360 evaluation. And that you do it twice a year. And that would just be, I mean, I know that our neighboring districts do 360 evals on their superintendents. And because we put this much work into it, you use it for a few years.
I'd like to use it and see how it goes.
Okay, all right, so let's move on. So everybody's good with 18. I thought 19 was good too. Do you have any needs, ideas, or feedback to share? Then that could cover anything we haven't touched.
I think that's.
Everybody good with 19?
That could be the last question.
Sure. It'd be the way to end the survey.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause I feel like 20 is not something
I'll read it
That's
there,
that's a
so.
board thing.
In order to attract young teachers to the district, would you support
And
paid
so-
maternity leave in addition to attendance, second personal and you're saying that's a board issue?
Yeah, I don't think that's something that's.
Or we're the only ones that can formulate that, so.
Right, yeah,
Okay,
and 21 is nothing that.
so let's go back to 20. Everybody's okay, that's a board issue?
I think it's something to just.
Yeah, okay, and then 21, would you support constructing an auditorium to free up gym space currently used for assemblies, concert plays, musicals, community events? Again, is that a board issue?
Yeah,
I mean, no, but
but,
it's not necessarily in the scope of,
In
Well, yeah.
This is a leadership survey.
right,
well, that's with question number, whatever it was that we talked about.
I would like to know the opinion, but
right.
Exactly.
But not,
Yeah.
not in the context of this, yeah, right, because there's a couple other ones too,
Question 15, that's right there.
right. And, so then now, okay, so we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 on the nose, huh?
Mm-hmm. Kind of,
You know, the one thing I hope with this is I hope we get good turnout with this. You know, because I know like in any kind of the previous effort, like there was extremely low turnout given all the staff we have, and it's like I really hope that.
I was hoping for even a few more.
You know, like I hope we get 75%.
A couple neighboring districts do 360 evals to do this type of stuff, and you get you get the gamut of responses, but there's always a shred of truth that you guys can take. And so it's finding the shred of truth and understanding what you learned from it. So, but what I'm trying to say is you're not the only ones who are doing this type of survey, and it's common. I think you're being, compared to the other districts who are doing it, you're being overly sensitive to staff to allow them to get their voice heard, and I think that's good.
Does anybody have any questions they'd like to add or any input?
So should we kind of let them know, because you guys said you wanted, okay, so you wanted 18 to be number 1?
Yes. And,
And then did you want number, then,
number
I'm sorry, you
after
wanted 19 to be
19 to be
number
last.
10, okay?
Say after between those, I don't care what order they're in.
again, does anybody have anything that they had written down that would like to add to this?
Well, I kind of think that 10 questions is a good number.
I didn't, I
It seems like it was pretty covered.
There were good questions in here. There was nothing that I felt like.
And with 19, with the last one that we're gonna add at the end, do you have any needs, ideas, or feedback? And I think that if we missed anything, then they can have that to share it out. If there's something we're missing.
Write as much as you want.
Is everybody comfortable with this? Everybody comfortable with this? Okay,
We
so,
could have Zane kind of
Yeah.
type
yep,
it
so
up and
Zane,
then send it
so
out to
Zane's
us.
gonna type it up then, and Zane should be the one, distributing it too, so how are we going to tabulate the results then? We're going to do that?
And you notice how we didn't have a question of rate your business manager, because we know it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. They make me do yours, it's like you can do yours, so are we, you too. So do we, wait, I'm good with them, I don't need to to see them again. I mean, if we've got 1 and we've got 10, and to me either, I don't care what's in between, or in a particular order.
I think maybe if it's something, if we could just get like a pre-draft, just like almost
Okay,
even,
sure, we can
like,
email to
just
it.
give like a thumbs up to it, I'm sure it'll be.
Okay, sure. And then how are we distributing this? Like, is he just gonna do like with questions?
I think if you're gonna have you want it circled, it's gotta be paper.
Yeah.
And if it's just going internal, you just put it in all their boxes and
Oh.
hand it to them, and
And then have a box to return it to, so
Yeah.
it's anonymous, I don't want people to look at my
yeah,
survey.
maybe it just comes with an envelope. Like,
Okay. Stop it, seal it?
So,
Are they gonna put their names on it though?
Absolutely not.
No, it's just you're putting it in their boxes, or
Or you
you're
could put it back in my box, it would be okay, because no one's gonna know, because
Right, but
their
then-
names on it.
right,
Right.
but then still you might see some answers and it's probably just.
Oh, you don't
less
want them to see any answers, do that.
I don't know, I just don't want,
No, I don't want something, if I'm gonna fill this out, I don't want someone else.
it's not, I mean, we're not a gigantic district where everything has to be standardized, because you can't handle that many envelopes. We can handle at what, almost 80 envelopes.
you can put it in the envelope when you put it in the mailbox, and then just don't seal the envelope, so that way when they put it back into yours, then they can seal it at that time.
Does everybody have a mailbox?
No,
Everybody got mailbox?
No, bus drivers don't, so you're gonna have to put it in an envelope, and you're gonna have to have a box. It's gotta
I'll
be-
make sure it gets,
Some share mailboxes, like the cook share mailbox at the grade school, the custodian, they have a custodian.
Just make sure you put,
So that we can put like 2 of them in the cooks, or three of them.
Okay, we're gonna work this out internally, you can work that out internally, if you have any questions.
How long?
I hate to put pressure on them, but I want this ASAP. So,
oh, that's fine, I mean, tomorrow probably not a good day, payroll tomorrow, so.
I'm not saying even tomorrow's, Wednesday. I
We
mean,
got the W-2s out yet,
No, we gotta.
so we gotta get W-2s.
It's not a great week to spend all day.
No, I wasn't thinking this week, but how about next week? How about after you guys?
Yeah, if I have time this week, I'll certainly do it.
yeah, W-2s and payroll takes precedent.
And then give them it would really be nice to have the results at our board meeting.
That'd be very fast.
I know, but we'll see what happens.
And Mondays.
I can have wishful thinking, man.
Yeah, I don't know, especially since you scheduled it earlier, you scheduled an early board meeting this month. Oh, yeah.
Do the best you can.
Yeah, I'll do it as
Understand?
soon as I can.
Understand. I won't crack with the whip. Okay, but we'll just do the best you can. Get your W-2 all first, that's a necessity. That has to
And
happen this
payroll.
week.
I'm sure I can
Get
start.
them out this week, get them out
Thursday,
this week,
Friday.
that should be a priority, and then work on this.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Again, we can't add anything to the motion, to the meeting, but is there anything else you would like to talk about that relates to this survey? No? All right, we did good. 40 minutes. Get back to your classrooms and get back to my nap or whatever else you're gonna do. Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Okay, and then, I don't think we have any questions, Vanessa's gonna be gone next week, so if anything comes up, we can do that following week. Otherwise, our board meeting's the 11th, so. Okay, let's get on these, principals, ASAP as well.
Oh,
We got that scheduled in, so see where we stand. Everybody have a wonderful day.